So, hello.
Hello.
I'm guessing today you're at the National Museum of Computing.
Well, you guess right. Actually, exciting times. I'm in my new, shiny and new, remote learning studio.
Ooh.
Yeah. And if it looks a little bit like a cupboard, that's because it used to be. Probably shouldn't say that, but well, yeah. Anyway, so we've commandeered this cupboard and we've turned it into a remote learning studio so that we can get people to come to the museum without coming to the museum.
But we're joking and we're being flippant, but you're in Block H, isn't that right?
Yeah, so yes. You know, a Block H of Bletchley Park, which was the world's first dedicated computer centre. So, you know, this building's got history. You know, it might not have marble pilasters and everything, but it's a really important building.
And this room that you're in, who knows what this was, because it's a lot of it is still on, you know, not being declassified yet. So there could have been top secret things kept in this little cupboard.
If the walls could talk, hey, Alan.
Yes. So Anne-Marie, I get asked, people ask questions like, is that right that they're doing virtual tours and how do they work? Why are you a good person to tell me about how the National Museum for Computing, or TNMoC, how their offer works virtually online? Why are you best placed to tell me that?
We're assuming that I am. Yeah, so I'm the learning manager at the National Museum of Computing, and I have the privilege of leading a team of 8 dedicated education guides, and we've worked together really hard to put together this multimedia, immersive experience for students.
That's fantastic.
You know, we've worked on this for the last sort of month and a half, and I've been working with them to put it together.
So over the years, I do feel a little bit privileged that I often get to come in and visit, and while I'm there, maybe for a meeting with you or one of the others, the streams, usually steady streams of schools and coaches and adults turning up, and your doors are often open, but at the time of recording this, the country's in another lockdown, and that means the museum, while you're still open in some ways, but you're not open doors, you're having to think all the time about how you can continue that offer to schools. So we could talk about that in a moment. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'd be great.
So you're showing me now the TNMoC.org website.
That's right. So this has information about our remote learning packages. So, you know, the government have said we're close to the public, obviously, because of lockdown, which is happening until the 2nd of December. But the government have said that school trips can go ahead, which is great if you have the means to do that. But I know a lot of schools are really struggling at the moment, you know, budget restrictions, getting insurance, getting staff cover, all of those things are very real challenges for schools. So, you know, we wanted to make a way possible for schools to access everything that we have to offer, even if they can't come, you know. So even if we go into like a full-blown lockdown like we had earlier in the year, you know, you can still access us via a video conferencing link such as MS Teams, Zoom, or Google, or whatever software it is that you use. So on this website, we have details of what that all involves.
So what you're showing me now, anybody can access this. They go to the website today, even. This is what they'll see in terms of remote learning packages.
There's information on how to book. We also have a little section of DIY learning resources, because we know that, you know, there are schools that just, you know, can't afford that. Although we do have a bursary scheme available to schools with high levels of PPG, per pupil premium grant. So, you know, if your school is over 18% pupil premium grant, you could book this for free, and we have a commercial sponsor that will essentially pay for your entrance for you.
So I presume they would have to contact you directly to...
Yeah, so they could just send me an email, and the details are on these web pages. But we also have some free resources as well for teachers to use, and they're here. But
sorry to cut you in your screen there. One thing I absolutely love that the TNMoC are doing is they're saying, look, we would like obviously to host a tour for you, but if you want to do one yourself, well, here's the ingredients. that you can't necessarily provide the recipe because that's up to schools. But you're not saying, no, you have to book through us. You're actually making the means available. So, and it could be that teachers just want to have a look at what some of those are. But I realize there'll be things that paying brings them additional.
So, I mean, we understand what it's like to have tough times. So we have given these free resources, and we've also kind of done a little, we know times are hard, but times are hard for us too. So if you want to donate, that would be awesome. It's a bit of quid pro quo. But if you do want some expert input, then we do have the remote learning packages, which give you access to live guided tours with our experts and hands-on activities. So if that is an option for you, then use it, So
not just as well, you and your colleagues are very active on social media. So I've seen you're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and there's a lot of content, there's a lot of news through there. There's quizzes, ask the expert. I saw as well, can't remember the exact date, and it may be it's passed since, but there was a homeschooling experience that was on offer as well. So it's worth people keeping
we did our first homeschool home educators remote learning session on Monday, and fantastic. On Sunday the 29th of November we're hosting a quiz for your digital family for Parent Zone, and the details are on Eventbrite. And actually the grand prize for that is a school visit. So if you enter that with your family or get all your kids to enter it, then they could win a trip for your school to come. So that's fantastic. The 29th of November, and the link's on Eventbrite.
Okay, so I can see, although it's a little blurred to me in the video at the moment, the details that are on there, but I know I can go there at my leisure now and see what the packages are, because it looks like there's more than one, and I can see it's all really easily laid out. You get this much for this and you get this much for the other. I wonder, could I persuade you to show me a little of what those packages might entail, what we might see? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think I could be persuaded.
Okay. Oh, this looks like the bomb gallery. That's the Enigma machine, isn't it, on the right-hand side?
Yeah, we've got Enigma machine here. You can't go to Bletchley Park without seeing an Enigma machine.
Yeah. And of course,
we have one here at the National Museum of Computing.
If we were physically there, often visitors can actually touch the Enigma machine, which is something that's quite unique, but obviously with a virtual tour, that's you're gonna have to wait.
We do have videos though showing it in operation. Yeah. So no, you don't get to touch, but you wouldn't get to touch through a screen anyway. But we do have a cheeky little video, and I can, if I flip to the video content, show you a video. Yeah. And this is a video of our colleague, and we've got the Enigma machine out, and he's going to start wiring it all up, taking it apart, so that you can have a really good look inside, as if you were here. And
of course, this doesn't just link to computing. There's other links again to history and some of the other curriculum, like maths and the sciences. Yeah, maths, absolutely. Yeah. So that's great. So are we going to go back to the bomb gallery and see, because I get really curious. I want to see what else were you going to show me, because I can watch this video later on. Yeah. Bomb gallery.
Okay, yeah, so obviously we've got the world's only fully operational working bomb model. So other sites do have bombs, but they actually
display items,
props. Yes. Yeah. So this works, and every time we run this, it's running an equation. It could be working something out, so it could be doing decryption in various. In fact, we have challenges where we send messages between England and Poland, or all over the world, and they have mathematicians trying to hack various codes, and we use the bomb. So there's all of those fun things that go on here.
I know a little bit from what I've read. When your tours are being hosted, what I've seen is it's experts, people who really know their stuff, and
that's right.
Some of the children, the students love to bombard them with questions like how much and how big and for how long and all these kind of things. And the experts, they really know their stuff.
Yeah. So the amazing thing about this model is it's 360 degrees, so you can stare at the ceiling if you want to, but why would you? Or you can literally walk around this bomb machine, so it gives you a sense of the scale. So even though you're not in his presence, you know it's pretty big, and you can see inside. And another fun thing, which I never get tired of, is you can almost leap over the barrier.
Wow.
Get right in there, you know, so you can have a really good look.
One of the things I've noticed as well, this software that you're using, the images are, again, I don't know if the video's doing full justice here, but they're usually really crisp, the resolution, where some of the other ones I've seen in other attractions, they're not as pin sharp.
Yeah, what we find with the video conferencing is that the connection, so OBS Studio, which is the system that we use to broadcast our content, is in HD. So what we send out is really crisp. However, if you've got like a slow data connection or whatever, it can fuzz things up a bit. So we do say to schools, you know, if you're connecting with us, try and make sure that the tour is on like an Ethernet connection rather than a Wi-Fi connection. And if you're connecting through Google Meet or Zoom, make sure that your receiving video is set to HD, so that you get it nice and crisp. The problem with MS Teams is that you don't get to choose how it looks. It does it for you.
But of course, there's also the advantage that in you saying, well, look, we also you share this tour without people having to book the actual
that's
content.
true. So if you know, and we have teachers who come year after year, and you know, and they know their stuff, so you can actually go onto our website and have a look round. But obviously, what you're missing is that expert input, and that is that's really what we're charging for.
I'm going to ask a bit of an awkward question now. So I've spoke to your volunteers, your guides, they are fantastic. They really know their stuff, but they haven't all been teachers, and they don't necessarily have a teaching classroom based background experience. So how do they go about making the experience engaging, interactive? Because do the children just sit for an hour, 40 minutes while they talk to them, or do you have?
Oh, for remote learning,
yes,
we have quizzes and we have hands-on activities.
Ah, okay.
Let me get this teed up for you.
Well, interactivity helps keep the students engaged. Yeah. So how does that work?
That's right. So I'm sure a lot of teachers will be familiar with Socrative. We have a quiz. So after every gallery, we ask them 5 questions. And the great thing is that we connect to the kids live through this. So we get to see how much they've taken in from what we've told them. So we ask them the questions, the kids submit the answers, we see their answers this end, and we can see whether they've been listening or not. So that's why it's really interesting to see what's sunk in and what hasn't. And it's great fun. The kids get so excited, you know, because they can check their results against each other, and it's kind of like a quiz, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like playing a TV show quiz, you know, because you can see what people are saying, and there's a bit of tension. So that's really nice.
I've got another question. Sorry, I'm throwing all these questions at you today. So there's a little bit of uncertainty. There's quite a lot of us at the moment. Schools making plans and then last minute member staff. So I'm just wondering what happens if a school goes for one of these packages and they say, oh, they book it all with you and everything, and then the plans have to change. Is there like a window by which they can notify you? Do they lose their money? What works?
You know, in normal times, because we have a lot of demand on our program, we have like a 1 month window. So you're able to cancel your booking up to a month. But obviously, we know with coronavirus that isn't going to fly, you know, because things change so rapidly. So what we say is, you know, if you book with us, you can cancel up to a week before. But if your school is, you know, it's coronavirus related, then you can actually book with less notice, you know. So say, for example, suddenly everyone in that bubble that you've booked for, so yeah, you book for year 10, and then suddenly someone in year 10 gets coronavirus and the whole bubble has to isolate, then we could rearrange that for you at another time. You know, that wouldn't be a problem. But also, this connects through your video conferencing. So you can book this and then you can send it to the kids
remotely.
remote learning, that's what it's all about, you know.
I mean, I do understand exactly. There seems there's strong sort of economic reasons for that, because you don't receive grants from the government and that to run. You still have operational costs. And if the school has said, well, we want 2 explainers or guides, and we want this and we want that, and then they ring you up that morning and say, listen, we're going to have to cancel it all. You've got some people waiting, rearing to go, and then you're going to say, oh, sorry.
Well, you know, Alan, between you and me, you would not believe the number of times schools book visits and then forget that they've done it.
Oh dear.
And then they either don't show up on the day, or they ring up a week before and say, oh yeah, sorry, I haven't got a coach. And it's, under normal circumstances, there's nothing we can do about that, because we are literally turning schools away. And somehow it's kind of our problem. But these are different circumstances. Do you know what I mean? Things are changing so rapidly all the time, and we want to meet schools where they are with this, and you know, and help them to book with confidence. You know, we know that if you book a school trip, it might be that parents can't make their contributions or whatever. So we're just trying to work with schools to kind of make that flexibility, because we do understand that times are hard. And you're right, we don't get core lottery funding, we don't get core government funding. We live and die by the fact that people come and visit us. So we're really in a fortunate position that we have great supporters that are hopefully going to see us through this kind of barren period, and then hopefully we'll be able to welcome people back to the museum again.
Can I see you again on camera, just to see your face again?
Hello.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of information that you've shared with me now at this point, and as you've shown on the website, a lot of the questions that schools will have, like how much, the booking terms, that's all clearly laid out on there, and there's a form, I think, and there's a way that they can contact you for those. But I think it's fair to say that today we've only looked at the briefest of sample. I mean, I think you've only really showed me one of the galleries and a little bit of Colossus next door. So I've
only shown you the World War II code breaking machines. There's the other modern electronic computing machines as well, the world's oldest working computer. And I haven't shown you my interactive sessions either.
No. And
that's
right, programming BBCs. So we'll save those, tempt people to another time to come back and join us. But so that's been really, really helpful. But basically, we would suggest and recommend people go to the website, first of all, to look at the learning section, and then on the remote learning, if that's what they're looking for, they can contact you via there. They can explore some of the options that are available. Yep.
Yes, that's great. Yeah,
okay.
It's education@tnmoc.org.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? The National Museum of Computing, TNMoC.org. Well, Anne-Marie, it's been a real pleasure to catch up with you today. Thank you very much.
Always good to talk to you. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.